हरि कुमुख अकंपन कुलिसरदा धूमकेतु अतिकाय एक एक जग जीते सक से शुभ टनिकाय सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम। काम रूप जानहि सब माया सपने हो जिनके धर्म ना ध्याया। 10 मुख बैठ सभाए एक बारा देखी अमित आपन परिवारा। सुत समूह जन परिजन नादी गने को पार निसाचर जाति। सेन बिलो की सहज अभिमानी कोला बचन क्रोध मद सानी। सुनहु सकल रजनी चर जूथा हमरे बैरी विबुद्धावत रूथा। ते सन्मुख नहीं करनी लड़ाई लेखी सबल रिपु जाहि बराई। तेहि कर मरम एक विधि होई कहो बुझाई सुनहो अब सोई। द्विज भोजन मख होम सराधा सबके जाई करहो तुम बाधा। श्री राम जय जय राम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम। रघुपति राघव राजा राम। चोधा चीन बलहीन सुरस जोहि मिलिहीन आए। तब मारी हो की छाड़ी हो भली भांति अपनाए। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। मेघनाद कहो पुनि हम कारा। मेघनाद कहो पुनि हम करावा। दीन ही सिख बलु बयरु बढ़ावा। जे सुर समर धीर बलवाना। जिनके लड़ी बिकर अभिमाना। तिनहि जीति रण आने सुबाधी। उठी सुत पितु अनुशासन काधी। एहि विधि सब ही अज्ञान दीनी। एहि विधि सब ही अज्ञादीनी। आपुन चले गाता कर लीनी। चलत दसानन डोल नहीं आवनी। गर्जत गर्भ स्रवहि सुर रवनी। रावण आवत सुनयु कहो। तके मेरु गिरि खोहा। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। देख पालन के लोक सुहाए, सुने सकल दसानन पाए। पुनि पुनि सिंहनाद धर धारी, देहि देवन ही गिरा कारी पच आरी। रन मद मत फिरहि जग धावा, प्रतिभट को जत कतहु न पावा। रवि शशि पवन वरुण धन धारी, अग्नि काल जम सब अधिकारी। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। किन्नर सिद्ध मनुज सुर नागा, हट्टी सब ही के पंटहि लागा। ब्रह्म सृष्टि जह लगी तन धारी, दस मुख बसवर्ती नर नारी। आयसु करहि सकल भय भीता, नवहि आय नित चरण विनीता। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। भुजबल विश्ववस्य करी, राकेशि को न सूत्रंत्र। मंडलिक मणि रावण, राज करे निज मंत्र। राज करे नित्य मंत्र। देव जछ गम दैव नर, किन्नर नाग कुमारी। जीती बरि निज बाहुबल, बहु सुंदर बरना। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। इंद्रजीत सन जो कछु कहे हूँ, सो सब जनु पहले ही करी रहे हूँ। प्रथम ही जिन्ह कहूँ आयसु दीन्हा, तिन्ह कर चरित सुनहु जो कीन्हा। देखत भीम रूप सब पापी, निशिचर निकर देव परितापी। करहि उपद्रव असुर निखाया, नाना रूप धरहि करि माया। जेहि विधि होय धर्म निर्मूला, सो सब करहि वेद प्रतिकूला। जहि देश धेनु द्विज पावहि, नगर गाँव पुर आई लग आवी। नगर गाय पुर आगी लग वाही शंभुआ चरण कतहु नहीं होई। देव विप्र गुर मानन कोई, नहीं हरि भगति नहीं हरि भगति यज्ञ तप ज्ञाना। सपने हो सुनियन वेद पुराणा। जप जोग विरागा तप मख बागा। श्रवण सुने दस सीसा। आपुन उठी धावे रहे न पावे। धरि सब घाले खीसा। अस भ्रष्टाचारा भासन सारा। धर्म सुनी नहीं काना। देहि बहुविधि त्रासे देश निकासे। जो कह वेद पुराणा। जो कह वेद पुराणा। जो कह वेद पुराणा। बरणी न जाय नीति। घोर निशाचर जो करही। हिंसा पर अति प्रीति। तिन्ह के पाप ही कवन मति। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। बाड़े खल बहु चोर जुवारा। जेलम पट पर धन पर दारा। माँ नहीं मातु पिता नहीं देवा। साधुन सन करवावहु सेवा। जिनके यह आचारण भवानी। ते जाने हो निश्चर सब प्राण। अति अतिशय देखी धर्म केल ग्लानि। परम सभीत धरा कुलानि। गिरि सरि सिंधु भार नहीं मोही। जस मोहि करुव एक परद्रोही। सकल धर्म देखे विपरीता। कहि न सके रावण भयभीता। धेनु रूप धरि हृदय विचारी। गई तहाँ जहाँ सुर मुनि छारी। निज संताप सुनाई सि रोई। काहु ते कछु काज न होई। श्री राम जय जय रामा। श्री राम जय जय रामा। सुर मुनि गंधर्वा मिली करी। सर्वागे बिरंजी के लोक। संग गोतनुधारी भूमि विचारी। परम विकल भर शोका। ब्रह्मा सब जाना मन। अनुमाना मोर कछु ना बसाए। जाकर ते दासी सो अविनाशी। हमरे युतोर सहाय। धरनी धरहि मन धीर। कह बिरंचि हरिपद सुमिरु। जानत जन की पीर, प्रभु भुंजी दारुण विपति। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। बैठे सुर सब करहि विचारा, कह पाइय प्रभु करे पुकारा। पुर बैकुंठ जान कह कोई, को कहा पय निधि बस प्रभु सोई। जागे हृदय भगति जसि प्रीति, प्रभुतः प्रकट सदा तेहि रीति। तेहि समाज गिरिजा में रहेऊ, अवसर पाई बचन एक कहेऊ। हरि व्यापक सर्वत्र समाना, प्रेम ते प्रकट होय ते जाना। देश काल दिसि विधि सुमाई, कहु सो कहा जहाँ प्रभु नाई। अग जगमय सब रहित बैरागी, प्रेम ते प्रभु प्रगटे जनि आगी। मोर वचन सब के मन माना, साधु साधु धर ब्रह्म बखाना। श्री राम जय जय राम, रघुपति राघव राजा राम। सुनिए बिरंचे मन हर्ष, तन पुलकी नयन बरनीर। स्तुति करत जोरि कर, सावधान मति धीर। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। जय जय सुरनायक जय सुखदायक, प्रणतपाल भगवंता। गोद्विज हितकारी जय असुरारी, सिंधु सुधा प्रियकंता। पालन सुर धरणी अद्भुत करणी, मर्म न जाने कोई। जो सहज कृपाला दीन दयाला, करो अनुग्रह सोई। जय जय अविनाशी सब घटवासी, व्यापक परमानंदा। अवगत गोतीतम चरित पुनीतम, माया रहित मुकुंद। जहि लागी विरागी अति अनुरागी, विगत मोह मुनि वृंदा। निशिवासर ध्यावहि गुण गण गावहि, जयति सच्चिदानंदा। जहि सृष्टि अपाई त्रिविध बनाई, संग सहाय न दूजा। सो करऊ अखारा चिंता हमारी, जानिय भगति न पूजा। जो भव भय भंजन मुनि मन रंजन, गंजन विपति विरोधा। मन वच क्रम जानी चढ़िय सयानी, शरण सकल सुर छूता। सारद श्रुति शेषा ऋषि अशेषा, जागह को नहीं जाना। जहि दीन पियारे वेद पुकारे, द्रवो जो श्री भगवान। भव बारिधि मंदर सब विधि सुंदर, गुण मंदिर सुख पुंजा। मुनि सिद्ध सकल सुर परम भयातुर, नमित नाथ पद कंझा। नमत नाथ पद कंझा, नमत नाथ पद कंझा। जानि सभय सुर भूमि, सुनि वचन समेत स्नेह, गगन गिरा गंभीर भय, हरणि शोक संदेह, सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। जानी डरपहु मुनि सिद्धि सुरेसा, तुम्हि लागी धरि हो नर देसा। अनसन सहित मनुज अवतारा, लेहो दिनकर बंस उदारा। कश्यप अदिति महा तप कीन्हा, तिन्ह कहु मैं पूरब बर दीना। ते दशरथ कौसल्या रूपा, कौसलपुरी प्रगट नर भूपा। तिन्ह के गृह अवतरे जाई, रघुकुल तिलक सुचार्यु भाई। नारद वचन सत्य सब करी हो, परम शक्ति समेत अवतरे हो। हरि हो सकल भूमि गुरु आई, निर्भय हो देव सब दाई। गगन ब्रह्मवाणी सुनि काना, दुरत फिरे सुर हृदय जुड़ाना। तब ब्रह्मा धरनी है समुझावा, अभय भई परोस आवा। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। निज लोके ही विरंचिगे, देवन इहे सिखाए। बानर तनु धरि धरि मही, हरिपद सेवहु जाय। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। श्री राम जय जय राम, श्री राम जय जय राम। गए देव सब निज निज धामा, भूमि सहित मन कहु विश्राम। जो कछु आयस ब्रह्मादीन्हा, हर्ष देव विलंबन कीन्हा। बनचर देह धरि क्षिति माही, अतुलित फल प्रताप तहि पाही। गिरि तरु नख आयुध सब धीरा, हरि मार्ग चितवहि मति धीरा। गिरि कानन जहाँ तहाँ भरिपूरी, रहे निज निज अनेक रचिरूरी। यह सब रुचिर चरित में भाषा, अब सुसुनहु जो बिचहि राखा। अवधपुरी रघुकुल मनि राउ, वेद विदित तेहि दशरथ नाउ। धर्म धुरंधर गुण निधि ज्ञानी, हृदय भगति मति सारंग पानी। श्री राम जय जय कौसल्यादि नारी प्रिय सब आचरण पुनीत पति अनुकूल प्रेम दृढ़ हरिपद कमल विनीत सियावर रामचंद्र पद जय शरणम शंकर हरि ओम जय जय सिया एक भार भूपति मन माही भय गलानी मोरे सुध नाही गुरु गृह तुरत महीपाला चरण लागे करे विनय विसाला निज दुख सुख सब गुरहि सुनावे कही विशिष्ट बहुविधि समुझाओ तरहु धीर होए कही सुतचारी त्रिभुवन विदित भगति भयहारी श्रृंगी ऋषि हिव शिष्ट बुलावा पुत्र काम सुख चाहिए करावा भगति सहित मुनि आहुति दीने प्रगटे अगिने चरु लीने जो वशिष्ठ कछु हृदय विचारा सकल काज भा सिद्ध तुम्हारा यह भी भांट देह नृप जाई जथा जोग जही भाग बनाई राम सिया राम जय जय राम सिया राम जय जय राम तब दृश्य भय पावका सकल सभी समुझाई परमानंद मगन नृप हर्षन हृदय सहाय सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम तब ही राय प्रिय नारी बुलाई कौसल्यादिता चली आई अर्ध भाग कौसल्य ही दीना उभय भाग आधे कर कीना कई कहे नृप सो देहु रखो सो उभय भाग पुनि भयु कौसल्या कई हाथ धरी किन्ह सुमित्र ही मन प्रसन्न करी एहि विधि गर्भ सहित सब नारी भय हृदय हर्षित सुख भारी जादिन ते हरि गर्भ ही आए सकल लोक सुख संपत्ति छाए मंदिर महु सब राजरानी शोभाशील तेज की खानी सुख जुत कछुक काल चल गए चहि प्रभु प्रगट सो अब सरवए श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। जोग लगन गृह बारत थी, सकल भये अनुकूल, चर और अचर हर्ष जुत राम, राम जन्म सुख मूल, सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। नवमी तिथि मधुमास पुनीता, नवमी तिथि मधुमास पुनीता, शुक्ल पक्ष अभिजित हरि प्रीता, मध्य दिवस अति शीतल धामा, पावन काल लोक विश्रामा, शीतल मंद सुरभि बहुबाहु, हर्षित सुर संतन मन छाऊ, वन सुख वन कुसुमित गिरि घन मनियारा, स्रवहि स्रवहि सकल सरितामृत धारा, सो अवसर विरंचि जब जाना, चले सकल सुर साजी विमाना, गगन विमल संकुल सुरचूथा, गावहि गुण गंधर्व परूथा, बरषहि सुमन सुअंजलि साजी, गह गह गहि गगन दुंदभि बाजी, स्तुति करहि नागमणि देवा, बहुविधि लावहि निज निज सेवा। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
गजाननं भूतगणाधिसेवितं, कपितजम्बो फलसारभक्षणम्, उमासुतं शोकविनाशकारणम्, नमामि विघ्नेश पादपङ्कजम्। या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला, या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता, या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा, या श्वेतपद्मासना, या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता, सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती, सामां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेष जाड्यापहा गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरम् राजीवनेत्रम् रघुवंशनाथम् कारुण्यरूपम् करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रम् शरणं प्रपद्ये। राम कथा के तेई अधिकारी जिनके सत्संग गति अति प्यारी। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। राम कथा के ते अधिकारी जिनके सत्संग गति अति प्यारी। बिनु सत्संग विवेक न होई राम कृपा सुलभ न सोई। श्री राम काहू न को सुख दुख कर दाता निज कृत कर्म भोग सब भ्राता। श्री राम अवध तहाजह राम निवासु दिवस तहई जह भानु प्रकाशु। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। बड़े भागवान नुषतन पावा सुर दुर्लभ सब ग्रंथ निगावा। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम। गुरु बिन भवनिधि तरई न कोई जो विरंचित संकर सम होई। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय वर्णानामर्थसङ्घानां रसानां छन्दसामपि मङ्गलानां च कर्तारौ वन्दे वाणी विनायकौ भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम् वन्दे बोधमयं नित्यं गुरुं शङ्कररूपिणं यमाश्रितो हि वक्रोऽपि चन्द्र सर्वत्र वन्द्यते नानापुराणनिगमागमसम्मतं यद् रामायणे निगदितं क्वचिदन्यतोऽपि स्वान्तसुखाय तुलसीरघुनाथ गाथा भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति भाषानिबन्धमतिमञ्जुलमातनोति हरि ओम्. We are seeing a very involved story, saga of the great Pratap Bhanu, who out of mere omission, there are sins of commission and there are sins of omission. This is a very ordinary thing. This you experience every day. All of us, we experience every day. See, if you put a banana peel for somebody to slip on, there's the sin of commission. If you commit something, you know that person is passing there, so you put a banana peel so he'll slip and fall. Commission. You commit some act. The person who is walking has a duty to look where he is walking. If he doesn't look, and he steps on the banana peel is the only free slippers you could get. He has a duty to look. And if he doesn't look, he steps on it and he slips and he falls. So the karma phala is instantaneous. There's a sin of omission, and for that omission of not looking, he gets the result immediately. So when we use the word sin, we have the English word sin at our disposal. I mean, that is about as much as we could use in English, papa. So that duty was neglected. If we are supposed to look, they tell na, watch where you walk in Trinidad language. Watch where you walk in. And watch what you're talking. And all these kind, they are important things. So they are sins of omission. You omitted to watch. That is the idea. The Pratap Bhanu, being a human being, he has a duty to think, especially a king. Because the consequences of not thinking for a king is way more than an ordinary person. When an ordinary person doesn't think, his omission of thinking, even omitting thinking, will not hurt so many people, it will hurt him only. But a king, if he doesn't think, and that therefore the whole family got sharp. They were not present even. From captain to cook. The consequences are so much more. So depending on where we stand in society and all our duty to think, and therefore in the words of the Brahmanas, nahi kachuki na vichar. He didn't do the proper vichar, thinking properly. And therefore now he's born as Ravana. Kama Rupa Jana, this is after 180 now. Kama Rupa Jana Nahi Sabam Maya. By his own will, he could take any form. He and all his Rakshasas now. I told you now, where evil is there is good unity. Good unity is always there. he formed a formidable army of terrible guys, mean hombres, like that, desperados. And they started terrorizing the whole world. They could take any form, see, after 180. Kama Rupa Janai Sava Maya. They knew all trickery and all different things. Sapanehu Jinake Dharma Nadaya. And in dream also they had no thought of dharma. What to talk in real? By chance in a dream also, no protection of dharma, no thinking of dharma, goodness, righteousness, proper conduct and all, niti and all, no such thing. In dream even. Sutahu samu jana parijana nati ganay kopar nisachara jati. And how many of them? Ganay kopar, who could count the ocean of them? So many also came. A long time had passed. Then, what they concentrated on doing? Terrorizing everybody, looting and plundering and all the different things. No, just after that, no. Ravana calls all his vast army. You see, you have to have a matching army. So when Bhagavan called all the monkeys together, Sugriva called all the monkeys, there were trillions. So the Rakshasas mean there were trillions. Because Tulsidas said, Ganay kopar nisachara jati. Who could count the ocean of them? So many. So Ravana called all of them. He unleashed such unspeakable atrocities on the world. And he's continuing his relentless plunder. He called all of them. Sunahu sakal rajani char juthai. Hamare bhairi vibhuta barutha. Te sanmukh nahi karahi larai. देखी सबल रिपु जाहि पराई. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. जय रघुराम जय रघुराम. जय सीताराम जय सीताराम. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. सुनहु सकल रजनी चर जूथा. Oh, all you hordes of Rakshasas, listen. Hamare Bairi Vibudha Barutha. All the groups of all these devatas, they are Hamare Bairi. They are my enemies. Te sanmukh nahi karahi larai. They are hiding everywhere. I'm looking for them to finish them, but they are hiding, these fellows. They are not coming in front of me. Dekhi sabala ripu jahi parai. Means I can't find any worthy fighters now. So now I'll tell you what we'll do. Ravana's plan. He wants to remove all of these Rakshasas, all of these devatas. But he can't find them. They're all hiding everywhere. Tehi kar maran eka vidhi hoi. Now he comes up with a plan. So, plan A is to remove all the devatas. But he can't find them. They're running and hiding everywhere. So then you come up with plan B. The exact same thing which you see in crime everywhere. I tell you, all these criminals and all, they must have read Ramayana. See plan B now. Just the next verse itself. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
दिन कर मरण एक विधि होए, कहूँ बुझाए सुनहि अब सोई.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
द्विज भोजन मख होम सराधा, सबके जाय करहु तुम बाधा.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram, Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
क्षुधा क्षीण बलहीन सुर, सहज मिलियाई आई. तब मारे हऊ छारी हऊ, भले भाई अपनाई. सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम. सीताराम सियावर राम, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. तेने करस मरण एक विधि होई. He wants to see what his plan is, what Divya's plan. To remove all the devatas. Using that word, which is translated in English as gods. Very poor translation. Devatas. Gurudev describes the devatas very nicely. Very revolutionary description or explanation of devatas in Gita. The devata is the productive potential in any sector in the society. Any sector of society, let us say engineering or law or chemistry or physics or business or you just name it, whatever you field in the society. If we do the right things, the proper things that is required in that field, there's any field, let's just say productive potential in any field. We do whatever is required in that field, that productive potential of that field will bless us. So it's the productive potential in the field. I will be rewarded justly. That is the idea. Those productive potentials have been personified. This god, that god, or this devata, that devata, and all of that sort of thing. Like for example, if I have proper health, means I maintain a healthy body and proper respiratory system and all, then I will be blessed by Pavan, by the air. Or if I don't keep proper health, then Pavan is there but I have short breath, then what? I breathe only quarter breath comes. It's called short breath. That means I have to do something. I have to keep a healthy respiratory system. I will be blessed by Pavan, like that. Pavan Devata. That field or that force in nature has the potential to bless me. Or the Annapurna, the Devi of food. Everything in this world could bless me like that. Anyway, so they have all been personified. Ravan's plan now is to kill all these devatas. But he can't find them. They run and hid everywhere. So then, listen to his plan now. Tena kara marana eka vithi hoi. There's one way to kill all of them now. What is that? Kahu bujai sunahu abba soi. Listen now, I'm going to tell all you Rakshasas gathered there. Yet call all of them. Dvija bhojan makha homa saratha sab ke jai karahu tuma batha. All these brahmanas, first of all. Then all the homas they are doing, all the yajnas, all the whatever offerings they are making, all of that. That is what feed the devatas. Because all the homas and all the... Because Bhagavan tells in Bhagavad Gita, he explains all of this. Yajnat bhavati parjanyaha. From yajna comes rain. From rain comes food. And so, like this, he explained how and the devatas are also tied to all of that, right? And you go and see Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter. So anyway, now, the offerings made by the brahmanas, those are the offerings that sustain the devatas. So even if they are hiding in a cave, which they were hiding in caves. There they'll be sustained because the offerings reach them. So then what? Their lifeline is these brahmanas and all their offerings. So then, this is his plan. Dvija bhojan, makha, homa, yajna and homa, all offerings. What to do then? Sab kai jai karahu tuma batha. You go there and destroy all of these. Yajna, makha, brahmanas, all, any offerings, all homa. So, Ravana was not too much concerned about the brahmanas, really, because they are harmless people. What they'll do? They can't do anything to him. He was not much concerned about them. He was concerned about removing the gods, the devatas. That was his concern. But they now are the sustainers of these devatas. So they got caught in the loop of his violence. And no, the brahmanas, they are the protectors of Dharma. So they will not relent so easily. So if anybody resisted, at one point he started taking their blood. He said he collected all that blood in a pot. And one brahmana gave sharp also. If that blood reaches Lanka, Ravana is finished. Then he told his Rakshasas, go and get rid of that somewhere. They went and buried that pot of blood in Janakpur. That pot of blood became Sitaji. And he came, the pot of blood, if it reaches Lanka, his time is over. He went and told the thing. The same thing that he told to bury there. He went and stole Sitaji and brought it. You see? Tulsidaji tells, we saw in previous day, when Bhavi has somebody by the throat, Bhavi means destiny. So, like that, his plan, now the brahmanas got caught in the loop. Then when the devatas are now denied of their offerings and all of that, Chuda, China, Balahina, Sura, they become hungry and thirsty and all such thing now. Life support is pulled. Fair? Balahina, when they'll become weak. Sura, Sahajahi, Milihahi, Ai. By themselves they'll come now to beg because they'll know I am the one who is at the root of it. They'll come by me to beg. They'll find out that I am the one who is causing it. So by themselves they'll come. You don't have to do anything. If you see how Gabbar Singh operates, hero, just wait, they'll come. Tab mari hau ki chari hau bhali bhanti apanai. Then I'll be free to kill them or let them go with conditions. You have to worship me every day, like Hiranyakashipu. Om Hiranyakashapave Namaha. with those conditions. It will be up to me now to do whatever. That is the idea. So this is Ravan's devious plan. Huh? Like this, Rana Mada Matta Pirai Jagat Hawa, he ran everywhere looking for suitable enemies. Pratibhata ko jata katahu napao. Tulsidaji, right? It means to say that he was given to a spate of violence. And like that, with that violence, Kinnara, Siddha, Manuja, Nara, Apsura, Naga, all the different classes of beings across the whole universe, he conquered all of them. Bhujabala, Visva, Vasya, Kari. By the might of his arm, by violence, he conquered everybody. Gandharva, everybody. Then, Te vidhi hoi dharma nirmula. This is just now after 182. See. This is the connection to the descent of the avatar. Huh? Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Jahi vidhi hoi dharma nirmula.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
So sab karahi ved pratikula.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Jahi jahi des thenu dvij pavahi.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Nagar gaon pur aage lagavahi.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
शुभ आचरण कहु नहीं होई.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
देव विप्र गुरु मान न कोई.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
नहीं हरि भगति यज्ञ तप ज्ञाना.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
सपने हूँ सुनिया न वेद पुराना.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram
जय जय
Jaya
राम.
Rama.
जय विधि होई धर्म निर्मूला सो सब करहि वेद प्रतिकूला. That by which dharma is uprooted, goodness and righteousness and propriety and all the other things, that by which they are uprooted. So sab karahi. He did that only. That is the idea. Veda pratikula, totally against the Vedas. Then Jai Jai Des Dhenu Dvija Pavahi, whichever place, any country, any place in the world where Dhenu Dvija Pavahi, gods and cows and brahmanas and Dvija word, Tulsidashi doesn't use the word brahmana, he uses the word Dvija. Twice born. Dvija means one who is twice born. This is the word he uses everywhere. Nagara, Gau, Pura, Agi, Lagavi. They went there, Ravan's people, and Ravana, and they set fire to the whole place. Some people are just born to, that sharp he was given, just born to do only wickedness. And Tulsidas ji writes there also, even though he was born in such a good family, but he's born to do wicked things. Subha acharana katahu nai hoi. Nowhere was there any proper conduct by anybody. He corrupted the whole world. He corrupted everybody. Deva Vipra Guru Manana Koi. Nobody had any, thereafter, nobody had any respect and regard for the gods, for devas, devatas, Vipra, Brahmanas, Guru. Nahi Hari Bhagati, Jagya, Tapa, Jnana. Nowhere was there devotion, bhakti practiced. Hari Bhagati, Jagya, Yajna, Tapa, austerities, and Jnana, knowledge. Sapanehu Suniyana, Veda Purana. In dream also people did not hear Vedas and Puranas. Dream also. So that was the state Ravan brought the world to. So people say, what powerful is Ravan? He's going to cause the avatar. Evil brings the avatar. This statement we make, but when we make it, please don't take that seriously. Ravan is such wicked and diabolical fellow, he brings down the avatar. So then wickedness has power to bring avatar. It is not like that. You think, Bhagavan says, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I come to re-establish Dharma. So, if Bhagavan is coming to re-establish Dharma, which has the power to bring the avatar? The wickedness or the Dharma? It is Dharma, isn't it? He comes to re-establish Dharma. That is the idea. It is Dharma, Bhakti, Bhakta, Bhaktajana, Sajjan, Sadhus. So, Paritranaya Sadhunam. To protect the sadhus, all of these things. That has the power. Otherwise, people feel the power is in the wickedness. He's so powerful, he brings Bhagwan also. With his power, he could destroy Dharma. And destroying Dharma is not good. Bhagwan comes for Godvijathenu, Devahitakari, he tells in Balkansa only we saw previously. For the benefit of others. In number 183 it says, it tells about his method. That is why nowhere you hear more about the talking of ahimsa than in Sanatana Dharma. Barani na jayaniti घोर निसाचर जो करही हिंसा पर अति प्रीति तिनके पाप ही कवन मिली सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन Barinajaya Niti. Nobody could describe all the atrocities and all the transgressions of Ravana. It was too much. Ghor nisachara jo karahi. What he and all his people did. Aniti, ghor and aniti. Terrible atrocities. Then, himsa par atipriti. They had a love for violence. Tinake papahi kavani miti. And who has a love to Tulsidashi's comment? He who has a love for violence. Himsa par atipriti. Tinake papahi kavanamiti. Who has a love for violence, how can he ever stop from doing pap? It's a very strong line. Violence and pap go together. Jinake acharana bhavani. Te janiu निशिचर सब प्राणी। अतिशय देखी धर्म के ग्लानि, परम सभीत धरा अकुलानी. Now the Mother Earth, she was very much perturbed. See, Atisaya dekhi dharma ke glani. The decline of dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. When there's a decline. So here also same word glani. Tulsidas has certain words, he has to use direct from Gita only, because there is no other word for that. Dharma kai glani. Mother Earth was very, very perturbed. See, Mother Earth also can bless us. Na? If you work the earth, you will be blessed with food and returns, isn't it? So she is also personified. Then, Paramasavi Thara. Thara is Mother Earth. Thara is her name. Another name for earth. Akulani, very much perturbed she was. And in her mind, she said, Giri, Sari, Sindhu, Bhar, Nahi Mohi. There are all these huge mountains and rivers and oceans and all such things. There no weight for me to bear, nothing. Jasa Mohi, Garua Eka Paradrohi. No weight for me to bear. Or they don't compare to the weight of one, a hateful person. Paradrohi. One eka, what she says also. Means all the mountains and rivers and oceans, I could bear that weight, but the weight of a hateful person. Sakala dharma de khai viparita. Kahina sakai Ravana bhaya pita. This is Ravana, one Ravana, who spread such hate, such devastation, such atrocities, that one person she could not bear. But she kahi na sakai. She could not say anything. Why? Ravana bhayabhita. I mean, she was scared of Ravana. Because all the devatas being scared, they're hiding in caves. She's Devi also. Then, in 184, Tharani tharahi man dheera, kahi biranchi hari pada sumiru, janat jan ki pira, prabhu vanjihi daruna vipati, siyavar ramchandra ki jai, pavan sut Ramachandra ki jai. Dhenu rupa dhari hridaya bichari. She took the form of a cow and she went to Brahmaji. Gai taha jahasura muni chari. And where he was then, all the devatas also. Then nija santap sunaesi roi kahute kachukajana hoi. And she went to the devatas first, and they said nothing can be done. They themselves are hiding. Suramunigar Gandharva Milikari Sarva Ge Viranchi. And then all of them now together they went to Brahmaji. Then Dharahi Mana Dhi, this is which we just chanted. Kahavat Viranchi Haripada Sumiru Janat Jana Kipir Prabhu Bhanjihi Daruna Vipati. Now Brahmaji. See, one thing you have to pay attention to Brahmaji's solution. Mother Earth went and met the gods, the devatas, and all of them went and met Brahmaji and explained their predicament, the situation to Brahmaji. Brahmaji tells a nice thing. And this is true essence of the scriptures. Dharahi mana dhir. O earth, have courage in your mind. Kahabiranchi haripada And remember the feet of Hari. Janat jana ki peet. Hari knows the sorrows of the devotee. Brahmaji is giving to, of course, earth and all the devatas over there. Prabhu Banjihi Daruna Bipati. He removes the sufferings of the devotees. He knows and he removes. So you concentrate on his feet. The idea is, Brahmaji doesn't just sit there and he's waiting. What is your problem? Okay, tell me. And then he waves a wand and fixes. This is not how we should understand gurus and saints and mahatmas and devatas and all. Just sit there and you go with your problem. You make a line because so many people come. Line up. And we are waiting. Devatas are just waiting there to fix problems. Brahmaji also. He's in this world, problems, we told now previously, problems are fixed by one's own karma. You just don't, you go on praying, oh Prabhu, do this, Prabhu, do that, Prabhu, do the other thing, and you expect that anything will be fixed. I guarantee nothing will be fixed. And anybody who promises that everything will be fixed also, that is a lie. This world is a world governed by karma. Karma pradhana viswakari rakha. Nijakrit karma bhog sabhrata. Everybody receives the result of his karma. So we think that others will fix our problems. We have to do something. Brahmaji tells quickly. Haripada sumiru. This is, you remember the feet of. You have the problem. Brahmaji is sitting quietly. Brahmaji is the one who gives boon to Ravana and so many of them. So he is sitting quietly. You remember. Means you have to do something. Janata jana. And Hari knows your pain. And not only that, he shows also the proper way. Bete surasabha karahi vichar. Now, all the devatas, we have to remember Hari's feet. Oh, yes, you have to remember the feet of the Lord. Means you have to do something now, some dhyan, some concentration, all such things. Kaha paiya Prabhu kariya pukara. But where is this Bhagwan? No. First to remember his feet. Call on him, remember him. Where is he? Pura Vaikunt jana. Kaha koi. Somebody said, he lives in Vaikunt. Somebody said. Then, Kau kaha? Payanidhi. Basa Prabhu soi. Some said he lives in Kshir Sagar and that Ananta, he's there. Bhagwan Shiva's comment is, Jake hridaya bhagati jasi priti. This is a very famous line. These two lines. Few lines here, because Lord Shiva is speaking. Very, very famous. Jake hridaya bhagati jasi priti. Prabhuta pragata sadatehi riti. As is our devotion. Yo yo yam yam tanum bhakta. Bhagavan in Gita also says. Here, Jake hridaya bhagati jasi priti. As is our devotion to Bhagavan, how we think he is, so he relates to us. So he appears to us like that. Tehi samaja girija, Lord Shiva. See the whole verse. Jake hridaya bhagati jasi priti. Prabhutah pragat sada tehi riti.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Tehi samaj girija mein rahe.
Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Rama.
Avasar pai vachan ek kahe. Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai रामचंद्र की जय। तेहि समाज गिरिजा में रहे O Girija, O Parvati. At that time when all the devatas and Mother Earth went to Brahmaji, I also was present. Bhagavan telling Parvati ji. And see his words, how nice. He says, Avasara pai, when I got the opportunity. Bachana eka kaheu. I said one thing. Lord Shiva, all the devatas, one say he living in Vaikunth, one say he living in Kshir Sagar, one say, I don't know where to think he is. And all of them were giving their opinion and all that kind of thing. Going on talking. Bak, 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 bak. Lord Shiva is quiet. Quiet. Because when everybody is talking, the best thing is to remain quiet only. He is quiet. Then only when we get an opportunity now, avasara pai. Avasara means an opportunity. An occasion to talk. Avasara pai. Agar to avasar nahi hai, if you get no occasion to talk, then don't talk. That is the idea. Avasara pai. Then vachana eka kahu. Then I told one thing. One more thing I'll tell you. The best thing is always to speak last. That is best. Because you know, even if you are telling a sensible thing and you say it first, you'll get 25 other opinions after that and it'll wash away what you just said. You know, our Puja Gurudev, after satsang, he allowed no talking. When the satsang is over, everybody go. Or if you're doing vote of thanks and you're doing what you call introduction and you're doing whatever talk you have to talk. Talk in beginning. Because when you leave, you should leave with whatever is in the scripture. Not some other message. And then many people, when they come to do vote of thanks, you know what they do? They try to restate the whole lecture. And they do such a bad job. Don't restate the lecture. You just thank who you have to thank and then let them go. But the lecture is the person who is giving the lecture or the satsang or whatever, that person's job is to do that. So anyway, now Bhagavan Shiva, he got, so he was sitting quietly all the time. This one is telling this opinion, that opinion, the other, so many opinions. But Bhagavan's opinion is the best, I tell you. He's Ramayankar. See his opinion, when he talks now. Next verse itself. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. Shri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Rama. हरि व्यापक सर्वत्र समाना प्रेम ते प्रगट ओहि मैं जाना
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
देश काल दिसी विदिसी हुमाई कहूँ सो कहाँ जहाँ प्रभु नाही
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम
अग जगमय सब रहित विरागी प्रेमित प्रभु प्रगट जिमे आगी
श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय
those of you who want to study the concept of God and reality, theology in Hinduism, you have to study these few verses which we have just chanted and all. One says he lives in Vaikunt, one says he lives in Kshir Sagar, and they were all going on like that, all giving their opinion. Bhagwan Shiva speaks last, and he tells, no, Hari Vyapak. You're talking about living in Vaikunt and Kshir Sagar and living here and living there. Hari Vyapak. Vyapak word means he is all pervasive. All pervasive means, in Sanskrit, if you say all pervasive, Vyapak word, if you have to explain, he will be abhinna nimittopadana karana. That is Sanskrit word. Meaning to say, when we use the word Vyapak, please remember this thing. This is the description of Bhagwan from the highest standpoint. Lord Shiva tells last. He is both the material and intelligent cause of this universe, and therefore abhinna, none different from this universe. This is Lord Shiva's first statement. Hari Vyapak. Then he explains that. Sarvatra samana. This is this is perhaps the first verse I learned from Ramayana long ago. Long means long time. Sarvatra samana means he exists everywhere equally. Everywhere equally. Means the reality is there present uniformly across the entire visible and invisible universe. Not that he is present more in some places and less in some places, you know. A big burly guy, he must have more Bhagwan in he. And skinny maga fellow, he have less Bhagwan in he. You see, Bhagwan exists in all things, meaning he exists equally in me as he exists in any other being, right? First thing. Then second, where I stop, this body I'm talking about. Where his body stops, right there, space starts. Right? And the air is in the space. So as much as he is in this body, he is also in the space equally. And in the air equally. He is in every. This is, if you're talking about Desha, because Lord Shiva himself talks about. See, Desha Kal Disi, Vidisihu Mahi. If you're talking about Desha, space, equally present in every space. And the meaning of that thing is that, I'm telling, he is abhinna, or non-different from that thing, means he is verily that thing. If he exists equally in all things, means he is all things. That is the idea. You have to give some thought to this. All philosophical thinking has to be done. And we have to do, we can't do like Pratap Bhanu and don't think. You have to think. Kaho so kaha jahan Prabhu nahi. You tell, where is the Bhagwan? Not. We'll see this in Ayodhya Kand again. Valmiki ji will ask Bhagwan himself. Bhagwan Shiva now is telling only. Tell, where is this Bhagwan not? Where is he absent? Kahahu? You tell. So there Valmiki ji will ask Bhagwan himself that same question. And then he gives example now to tell this thing. How Bhagwan is all present, ever present, everywhere. Because Deshakal, ever present and all present, omnipresent. Deshakala Disi means everywhere in all times and all space. And not that Bhagwan was present more in Satyug and less in Kalyug. Because time, Desha, Kal, both are given. Aga Jagamaya, Sabarahita Viragi. Oh, what wonderful all Upanishadic knowledge. He is there in all Aga. Aga means, Ga in Sanskrit means to go. Ga, ga, gum. It comes from gum. Ga. Anytime you see that, ga. Gachati. Gamanam. Agamanam, come, coming. So like that. Ga. And ja means birth. So those two one letters, they signify big things actually. So aga. Aga means no go. That doesn't go. That doesn't go means what? That doesn't move. Means inert things. Aga. So in all inert things, aga and jaga now. Jaga means that goes. That which goes. Aga jaga maya saba rahita viragi. He is there in all things, means all, goes means all sentient things. Insentient and sentient. He pervades everything equally. Then, at the same time, saba rahita viragi. The Upanishads describe this reality in contrary terms. At the same, just now when in the first part of the pada is saying, he is present equally in all things. Aga and jaga. Moving, unmoving and moving things. Then, savarahita. He himself is devoid of anything, viragi, different from all of them. What? It comes in 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. See, might have very nicely Bhagavan tells there also. So now, to understand this thing, you have to get some example. Premate Prabhu Pragatai Jimi Agi. Now, meaning to say, so how we can be all things, in all things at the same time, not in anything. Not connected to anything. It is just, actually the simplest example and most often used is you have to think snake and rope. Good old snake and rope, we can't do any teaching without snake and rope. Now when you walk on the street, what do you see? Snake. What is actually there? Rope. So now, where has the rope gone? The rope has been lost in the existence of the snake, or the rope's existence is hidden in the existence of the snake, isn't it? The snake is, we are seeing a snake, that means it is existing. It's called abhasa rupa. In some form it is existing. It's existing as an appearance. So, for it to appear, it needs existence. So it has usurped the existence of the rope. The snake has usurped the existence of the rope. We are seeing snake. So, the rope's existence has gone into the snake. The other way to say that is the rope pervades every part of the snake. Because had the rope's existence not been there, there would have been no snake. So the existence is lent to the snake, the rope's existence. So this is from one standpoint. Now you go from the standpoint of rope. You tell rope, you know, Mr. Rope, there's a snake on you, you know. Rope will say, snake on me? Why there's snake on me? I'm totally devoid of any snake. Because when he looks at himself, what he sees? Rope only. Therefore, sarvarahit, devoid of anything, Bhagwan. Sarvarahit means devoid of everything. In Bhagwan, there's only Bhagwan. So from Bhagwan's standpoint, there's only Bhagwan. From our standpoint, there's me and you and everything else and Bhagwan. But when we think properly, even from our standpoint, we'll come to realize all of us are mere appearances only on Bhagwan. That is the idea. Eh? It's all nice Vedanta is given by Lord Shiva. Anyway, now after Bhagwan Shiva tells all of these things and everybody was in awe, you know. More Bachan, Bhagwan Shiva says. And before that, Premat Pragata Hoi Mai Jana. That line we did not do. That Bhagwan is all pervasive, but how he becomes manifest? Prema, by love. By devotion, that Bhagavan becomes manifest. After Lord Shiva gave this, no, you only have 3 lines, 3 lines he only spoke. Then he tells to Parvati ji, he says, Mor bachana sabke manamana. When they all heard my words, everybody considered my word to be the truth. And what they all said, sadhu sadhu kari Brahma bhakhana. This is the way to, in Trinidad, yeah man! That's Trini. But that I have no spiritual ring to it. You see? So sadhu, sadhu. That is the expression in Sanskrit, taken by Tulsidas Ji's Avati. Sadhu, sadhu in Sanskrit text also, same. They all said. Means what you said was correct. Sunibiranchi mana harashatana. Then Pulakita, Nayana, Bahanir, all of them heard, Biranchi also heard, hearing these words, cried, and then he sang Stuti. The very famous Stuti is there. Let us see. One verse at least. जय जय सुर नायक जन सुखदायक प्रणत पाल भगवंता को द्विज हितकारी जय असुरारी सिंधु सुता प्रिय पालन सुर धरनी अद्भुत करनी मरम न जानई कोई जो सहज कृपाला दीन दयाला करौ अनुग्रह सोई जय जय अविनाशी सब घटवासी व्यापक परमानंद अभिगत गोतीतम चरित पुनीतम माया रहित कुंद जय लागी की अति अनुरागी विगत मोह मुनि वृंदा निसि माय गावहि जयति सच्चिदानंद सो करो अधारी चिंत हमारी जानिय भगति न पूजा जो भव भय भंजन मुनि मनरंजन गंजन विपति मरूथा मन कमानी छाली सयानी शरण सकल सुरजू सारद श्रुति शेषा ऋषय अशेषा जाकहु कोई नहीं जाना जही दीन पियार वेद पुकारे द्रवहु बारिधि मंदर सब विधि सुंदर गुण मंदिर सुख पुण्य मुनि सेठ सकल सुर परम भयातुर मत नाथ पद कंजा जानि सभय सुर भूमि सुनी वचन समेत स्नेह गगन गिरा गंभीर वही हरनि शोक संदेह सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय. I thought we would have seen one verse, but we could do the whole thing. It describes Bhagwan in so many wonderful words. Bhava Bharati Mandir Savad Vidhi Sundar Guna Mandir Sukha Punj. His storehouse of all joy, the abode of all gunas, great qualities. They're like this Brahmaji and all the Devatas, they sang to Bhagwan Vishnu, to Bhagwan. Then Jani Sabhaya Sura Bhumi Suni, listening to the fear of all the Devatas and Mother Earth and all of them, Bachana Samet Sane, and listening to this stuti with so much of love and all. Gaganagira Gambhir Vai Harani Soka Sandeha. From the space, boom down the Gira. Gira means speech. Again, I told you now, it's indispensable in this Ramayana. Akashvani. Coming from the space. And what were the words coming from the space? Now this after 186. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Jani dar pahu muni siddha suresa, tum hi lagi hari hau nar besa.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Ansan sahit manuj avatara, le hau din kar bans udara.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Janidarapahu, don't be afraid. The voice, Bhagwan's voice now from the space itself came down. Muni Siddha Suresh. Oh, he said, now see. Now Bhagwan himself is telling all who were there. And the bhakti of all whom mattered also in the doing of the stuti and worshipping of Bhagwan and all that. Muni, all the sages. Siddha, all the accomplished ones. Suresa, gods, Indra and all the gods. Tumalagi, Dharihau, Nara, Besh. For all of you, for your sake, I will take a human form. What is interesting is, Tulsidasi does not mention here that it is Bhagwan Vishnu who is speaking. The word uses Gaganagira, this voice from space. Therefore, Tulsidasi leaves it open to hold Bhagwan Sri Ram, who is going to take avatar, is to hold Bhagwan Sri Ram as Brahma, the absolute reality, Ishvara, Vishnu, anything. Because it is left open. So in many places he's Hari, Bhagwan Vishnu. In many places, Brahma Namaya Jaga Bhagavanta. Brahma, the absolute reality. He's described. Don't be afraid. I will take human birth. Human Besha. Besha word, he doesn't say human birth. Nara Janma. What is the phrase he uses? Nara Besha. Nara Besha means I will take the garb of a human being. It means I will manifest as a human in a human form. That is the idea. The words are chosen so well, so nicely by Goswami Tulsidas ji. Amsan Sahita Manuja avatara lehau dinakara bansa udara. In a amsha avatar, means fraction of myself, I will manifest in human form. Leho Dinakara Bans. Dinakara Bans means the solar dynasty. I will manifest in the solar dynasty. Kashyapa Aditi. Kasyapa Aditi. Mahatapa Kinha. Dinakahu me Pura Bara Dinha. Kashyapa and Aditi, they did great tapas. Mahatapa Kinha. And I gave them a boon previously. So now we know from this one, from this portion, because remember Lord Shiva is relating to Parvati ji, how many in different kalpas Bhagavan took avatar for different reasons, right? So we know now in the Ramcharitmanas, the story which Tulsidas ji is relating is not Manu and Shatrupa story of the present Kausalya Dasharatha ji. Kasyap Aditi Mahatapa Kinha Tinakara me Pura Babarat Dinha. Kashyapa and Aditi, they did tapas and I gave them a boon. Because Bhagavan's birth is just in the offing now. And this is coming just before this. I gave them a boon. Te Dasarata Kausalya Rupa. Both of them are in the form of Dasharatha and Kausalya. Kosala Puri Pragatanara Bhupa. They are living in that he is living there as a king of Kosalapuri, Ayodhya. He is living there as a king of Ayodhya. Tinake Greha Avatariha Jai. I will take birth in his house. Raghukula Tilaka. So Charyu Bhai. 4 brothers we will be. We will be the apple of the eye of the Raghukul. Narad Bachana Satya Sabha Karihahu. And I will make Narad's words also come true. Well, he gave sharp, now you have to be born and go through all of these things. That's what he means. Parama Shakti Sameta Avatarihavu. And I will take avatar along with my Parama Shakti. Avatar will be there. Sita ji means to say. Param Shakti will be born as Sita ji. Hariyav Sakala Bhumi Garuai. I will remove all the burdens of the earth. He tells all the devatas. Nirvaya Hohu Deva Samudaya. Oh, all Devatas, you become fearless now. Gagana Brahmabani Muni Kana Sunikana Turata Pire Sura Hridaya Judana. They all regained their life as it were when they heard this Gagana Bani. Brahma Bani. Brahma is Tulsidas now writes it. Brahmaji means the absolute reality, the voice of the absolute reality manifest. That is the idea. Taba Brahma Dharanihi Samujhava Abhaya Bhai Bharosa Jiya Ava. Have faith, O earth, Brahmaji said, and have strength in your heart. Everything will be fine. Then Brahmaji gave command to all his devatas. कहि बिरन निज लोकहि बिरंचीगे देवन इहै सिखाई राम देवन इहै सिखाई बानर तनु धरि धरि मही हरिपद सेवहु जाय सिया पर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम
पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय शरणम निज लोक ही बिरंची गे देवन इहै सिखाई gave command and he left to his Brahma lok. What is that? Banar tanu dhari dhari mahi hari pada sevanu sevahu jai. All you devatas now, you banar tanu dhari. You take monkey forms And you go there and you help Bhagwan, serve Bhagwan. So all the monkeys that we see in Ramayana and all, they were actually devatas. All of them come to help Bhagwan. Tulsidaji continues the story. Avadapuri Raghukula Mani Rao Beda Biditati Dasharatha, now the king Dasharatha of Avadpuri, of Ayodhya, was a Dharma Dhurandhara Gunanidhi Gyani. He is described, we saw previously, Dharma Dhurandhar word. I told you it will come over and over. And he lived there along with all his wives. Then after 188 years, एक बार भूपति मन माही
श्री राम जय जय राम
है गलानी मोरे सुत नाही
श्री राम जय जय राम
गुरु गृह गय तुरत मही पाला चरण लागी करी विनय विशाला
श्री राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम जय राम
श्री राम जय राम
जय रघुराम
जय
सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. एक बार भूपति मन माही. The king thought one day, Bhay Galani, great calamity has befallen. What? More Sutta nahi. I have no son to take over his kingdom. Then, why I chanted the verse for this next line. Next line is very important thing. Those things which form the very foundation for this tradition and all, those things we should not just leave them like that. Huh? When he realized what the situation is, he's getting older and he saw the gray hair on the side there. There's email from Yamaraj. I have no son. Then, Guru Griha Gayau Turatas Mahipala. The king quickly went to his Turat word, immediately. Went to his Guru. So we go for guidance. We don't go for the Guru to solve the problem, we go for guidance. Charanalagi Kari Binaya Bisala. And he fell on the feet of the Guru and Nija Dukh Sukh Sab Gurahi Sunawa. And he told what the problem was. And the Guru, Kahi Vasishta, Bau Bidi Samujhao Yahu. Vasishta Guru Vasishta he went. And this was Kula Guru. Then, Dharahu Dheer Hoi Hi Sutachari, don't worry, you have a little patience. What? You will have 4 sons. Not only one, you come for one. You get 4 for the price of 2 for 1 sale we have now. 4 for 1. Tribhuvana Vidita Bhagata Bhaya Hari. They will be worshipped in the 3 worlds and remove the fears of devotees. Your 3 sons. Then Sringi Rishihi Vasishta Bolava Putrakama Sava Jagya Karava. And it was Vasishta Maharaj who got Shringi Rishi to come and do what? Putra Kama Subha Jagya. Auspicious Yajna for the obtaining of sons. Putra Kama. Dasharathji Maharaj had one daughter who was married to the Shringi Rishi. If you see the story and all, the same Shringi. He went long back, but he had no son. So now, they're going to do Putra Kama Yajna. Then, all this story I'm telling quickly because all of you know all of these stories or you have heard all of them. Tabahiraya Priyanari Bolai. They did that Yajna, Putrakama Yajna. And then, जो वशिष्ठ कछु हृदय विचारा सकल काज उभास सिद्धि तुम्हारा यह हबि बाटी देहु नृप जाई. From that Agni Dev came out from that fire and gave that Jata Jog Jahi Bhag Banai Payasam to Dasharath Ji Maharaj. And he said, you distribute this to your wives as you see fit. Jata Jog Jahi Bhaga Banai. You make that. Taba Drishya Bhaye Pavak. The fire Agni Dev became invisible. He left. Fir Sakala Sabahi Samujhai Paramananda Magana Nripaharsha. King explained to everybody, okay, now good thing has happened. And he was happy beside himself with joy, like that too. She described. Tabahiraya Priyanari Bolai Kausalyadi Taha Chali Ai. He called his queens there. And Ardhabhag Kausalyadi Dinha. Half of that payasam he gave to Kausalya. Ardha means half. Ardhanarishwari, you know this word. Ardha. Then Ubhaya Bhag Adhe Kara Kinha. And the remaining half he made into half. Means quarter. Right? Kai Kahandripa Sodayau Rahyo So Ubhaya Bhag Puni Bhayau. And 1/4 he gave to Kai. Not 3/4 gone. Half to Kausalya, quarter to Kai, quarter left. Kausalya, Kai, Hath Dhari. And both Kausalya and Kai, they held in this remaining quarter. Together held. And Dina Sumitrahi. And they gave to Sumitra. Two of them was holding and giving. Well, you all that story, you know. They had one son each, and this Sumitra had 2 sons. But their sons are not born yet. Their sons will be born tomorrow. The sons will be born tomorrow. You just have little patience. Okay, so yesterday I made an appeal for some donations to pay for the landfill we did in the Bhakti. 243 loads we got. We had to pay the contractor, how much? 72,900. Exactly, 72,900. And from the appeal yesterday, today we reach more than half. So that is extremely good. I feel by tomorrow, Bihariji said you should give a clap for that. He started clapping first. Yeah, we're somewhere in the region of 45 or somewhere there. Narayan just came and gave the last one just before I was walking in here. Bhagwan Narayan himself came and gave one. So yeah, somewhere 45, 46 like that. So the idea is, we had said yesterday that if we can get 72 people to donate 1,000 each, we'll have that in no time. So those of you who did not hear and who want to make a donation, please do. The contractor was gracious enough not to come today. Haris Khan is his name. Very nice man. He lives just close by here. So we still have a day. Okay. Jalpan extravaganza. Is like our mini food fair. Come and try all the different types of goodies that we have. We'll make dosa and we'll make gourmet pizza. Not ordinary pizza. If you can't come here for ordinary pizza, you have to get some special type of pizza. With almonds also. If you have not tried before, you miss out something nice. And we'll have pizzotti, and so many things will be there on that day. Anybody who can help in any way for the Jalpan extravaganza, please do so. Okay. A very special thank you to Girish ji and Anup for coming today and doing the Dashudoha. This Ramayana is Sampurna Ramayana Dash Doha mein. We're doing the whole Ramayana, 10 dohas at a time. So every night somebody is chanting 10 dohas. If you're able to chant and you want to chant also, those who are listening on the outside and you want to do one of the night chanting, we are welcoming that also. Many people can chant Ramayana, they just don't have opportunity to do in public and all. Okay. Today's sponsorship was done by somebody who wanted to be named as Om. There's not the person's name, but just tell who donated Om. Right? And in Upanishad, Om iti eka aksharam Brahma. In Upanishad, Om is Brahman. So who donated today? Brahman, the absolute reality. This is good. Kahata na sawan, na sai, Tulsidas had written na. When we tell and all, we lose some of the punya for that. Good, that's a nice choice. Okay, tomorrow? Ashram, okay. Tomorrow at the ashram. आरती के लिए सब खड़े हो जाइए. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद. सुख सनकादि शेष रुसारद. करनी पवन सुत कीरति की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की.
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश छौ शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस. मुनि जन धन संजन को सर्वस. सार हंस सम्मत सब ही की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की.
गावत संतत शंभु भवानी. अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी. व्यास आदि कवि वर्ज बखानी. काग भूषुंड गरुड़ के की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की.
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फीकी. सुभग सिंगार मुक्ति जुबती की. गलन रोग भव मूरियमी की. तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की.
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की. आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियापी की.
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम. श्री राम जय Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Rama Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai
Jai Ram Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garuradvajah Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatano Harihi Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhush Chasakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadai Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Bolo Siyavar Ramachandra ki jai Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai बोलो भाई सब संतन की जय श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय नमः पार्वती पते हर हर महा